I'm Coach Corey Wayne, and this is my video coaching newsletter. And the topic of this newsletter is going to be, I think she takes me for a sucker. I've got an email here from a viewer, and it's always good to hear these stories from other guys, because when you start dating a girl that fucking knocks your socks off, who's a total fucking 10 to you in every way possible, when you're with her, when you see her, when you touch her, there's just certain women will have that effect on you. And when you start dating a woman like that for the first time, or maybe it's been several years since you were dating a woman like that, it's really hard to do the right things. And it's also hard when you get involved, because there are women out there who will manipulate guys and will use guys to get what they want just because they're really beautiful and they've been spoiled their whole lives, and they don't see anything wrong with taking advantage of people or asking a guy to do something that she knows he really shouldn't or wouldn't ordinarily do, but since he wants her, or he's seeking her approval or her love, is really the only reason he does it. And she does it knowing full well that she's not going to give anything back to him because she has no interest. There are women like that out there. And so you want to be careful about that. And that's why I say you want to remain objective. And you want to be focused on the fact, is this girl that I'm with, is she reciprocating? Is she making the same level of effort with me that I am with her? And if so, the answer is no, then obviously you probably should be spending your time with somebody else. I've got an email here from this viewer, and he says, "Hey Corey, great videos. Here's a situation that you may find amusing. I had been dating this girl for 3 months. We met online and we spent 2 weeks chatting before the first date." And he says in parentheses, "I know I should have moved faster on that one." Yeah, because it's like when you spend so much time talking, because think about it, you talk to a girl on the phone for 2 weeks, and then you meet her in person, she doesn't look like her pictures, and you'll be kicking yourself in the ass going, fuck, her ass is the size of Texas, and I couldn't see that from any of her fucking pictures. Then you know in the future to make sure that you only go on dates with women who have a nice picture of their butt or their body, and it's not always like from the chest up, which women that tend to be fat or a few extra pounds, as they like to say, only take pictures from the chest up. So you got to watch out for those things, because your time is valuable. You want to. I mean, because think about it. You go on a date and then you're sitting there for an hour or two having a drink with a girl, and you don't really want to be there, and you've known since the moment you laid eyes on her when you walked in her that she wasn't what you thought she was. Now you got to sit there and spend money on a drink, and you got to sit there and talk to her for an hour or whatever. The idea is that you want to carefully screen these girls as good as, as quickly as possible. And plus, because the longer you interact with somebody like this particular, especially if you haven't dated in a long time, or you're just starting to date, or you're starting to learn this stuff, it's like you go, oh my God, I got a live one here, and you get really excited about it. And so what happens is you spend all this time talking to this girl and imagining things and imagining how great it'll be when you meet her. And say you do meet her, and she really is that awesome in person. Well, because you spend so much time talking to her, your interest is like skyrocketed before you even met her. And so then it becomes even harder to remain objective to make sure you're with a good quality woman. And so he says the date was at a coffee place, a nice venue, and all went well. She contacted me that evening to chat further. Our next two dates were indoor snowboarding lessons 2 weeks later. I paid for the first lesson with her, getting dinner after. That was good. The roles were reversed on the second date. When I suggested we do something other than snowboarding, she suddenly fell ill and was unable to go. I noticed that she was not initiating texting or phone calls, and I went to silent test when she would not respond. A week went by, and I got a random text asking for more snowboarding. This time 2 lessons. He says this would have been 120 pounds, which basically, I guess about $200 American. So he says, not including dinner, for a girl who gave me the cheek on the third date. Oh man, it's like, it was a third date before you went and made a move on her. So, wow. He says, I don't mean to sound tight, but we should be happy simply being together, and this luxury seemed to be taken for granted. I responded by asking her to book her 2 lessons, and I'll match them. And then he says she fell ill again. It's like, oh, what a coinky dink. But yeah, it's like you got to be careful, and that's why ideally when you meet a girl out, it's like you're just going someplace for a drink or you're going dinner. It's like you don't want to be booking like fucking hot air balloon rides or skydiving or anything that's crazy where you're like blowing hundreds of dollars before you even know what the particular girl looks like. So I mean, if money's tight, you don't. The best thing to do is like, because I coach a lot of guys who are in college. They just meet a girl out for drinks at a sports bar or something like that. Because like if you live in a college town, obviously there's all kinds of places that do like nickel beer night or 25-cent beer night or 2-for-1 kind of thing. Because obviously college kids don't have a lot of cash, and so you can't afford to go to a nice restaurant and do those kinds of things. So you just go and you do things that you can afford. But in like this particular case, it's like the chick's like, hey, because there are women that are like this. They might be really attractive, and they'll go out with a guy, and they know that the dude has no chance with them. But snowboarding tickets, indoor snowboarding, that sounds like a lot of fun, and probably doesn't sound like it's something that's very cheap either. So, hey, it's like I'm all up for that. That sounds good. And so if you're like you're not going to do anything exciting. It's kind of like I've got some friends that I met years ago that were part of this group that I was involved in. And I remember one of them, he called me a few months ago, and it's like I used to have this ski boat, and I don't have it anymore because I'm not living on a lake in Orlando anymore, and I got rid of it a few years ago. And so he's like, hey, I hadn't talked to this guy, I talked to him like over the internet on Facebook a couple times over the past few years. But I hadn't seen him in a couple of years. And so he's like, hey, I'm in town. I'm here with my new wife. We just got married. And the first thing he says is like, hey, man, you still got that boat? And I was like, no, I got rid of that a couple of years ago. He's like, oh. He's like, yeah, well, I called so-and-so, like another mutual friend of hers. He's like, of ours. And I haven't heard. He's like, I hadn't heard back. And he's like, well, we got to get together and do something. I was like, yeah, well, give me a call when you figure it out. He's like, yeah, we're pretty busy, but I'm going to see. I'll give you a call in the next few days. And I never fucking heard from the dude. And I guarantee you the only reason that this fucking shallow jackass called me is because he wanted me to take him out in my boat, him and his girlfriend. So, hey, buddy, how are you? Oh, you don't have your boat anymore? Oh, okay. We just get together and do dinner. Yeah, let's do that. And I'll give you a call next week. And I never hear from the guy. It just fucking cracks me up. It's like, so next time I get a boat and I'm back in Orlando, because he's on my Facebook, I'm sure next time he's in town, he's like, hey, let's get together and go out on the boat. I'm like, yeah, fuck you, dude. It's like, people are like that, and it's just, unfortunately, there's people like that in life, and that's why it's important when you're dating a girl and you really like her and she's really pretty that you're objective. Because you notice little things like this. A guy who's not really paying attention would just go, okay. And so he'll book another thing and he'll start thinking, oh, if I got to she only wants to go out with me if we do really cool things. And so he thinks it's the event is what's going to get him to get in her pants. And what's really going on is she's giving him the cheek and just going out and having a good time. It's better than staying home looking at the four walls. And he's getting used and he doesn't even know it. So if you have a question that you want to ask me, go to my website, click the Contact Me tab on the left-hand side of your screen, and send me 1 to 2 paragraphs max, and just give me several days to get back to you with a response. If you want to talk to me right away, the quickest way to get my help is to book a paid phone coaching session. You can do that by going to my website, click the Products tab, which will be at the top of your screen, and just follow the instructions. If you want to get a digital version of my Kindle ebook on my website, underneath the email sign-up box is a box that has a link that will take you right to the Amazon Kindle download page. Once you get there, if you don't have a Kindle device, just download one of their free e-reader apps for your smartphone, tablet device, or your computer. And if you appreciate the value of the information I offer in these video newsletters, the articles on my website, and my ebook, you can show your appreciation by going to my website, and on the Wibbly toolbar, which will be at the bottom of your screen, click the PayPal donate button and donate any amount that you feel is equal to the value of the information. I will talk to you soon.